What are the key issues, according to you, in terms of performance management in the public sector these days?
Well, I think it's a very interesting time at the moment, obviously in the light of the potential spending cuts. I think that really is going to raise quite considerable questions, not only about obviously what performance looks like in the public sector, what is it that's expected of the public sector. Only today there was an announcement of a Demos think tank report that is questioning yet again the value of performance measurement in that environment, and whether really it's more about concentrating on outcomes or, as it has been, on measuring more about processes.
Yeah.
So I really do think that whole economic environment is and should challenge not only what is expected of the public sector, but how we assess its performance.
Mm-hmm. So you don't think that performance measurement has become like just a bureaucracy, just something that is a burden, but it's something more useful? Or is it?
Well, I think that those are very, very good questions. I mean, one of the areas that I am personally interested in is really going back to first principles, I think, about trying to remind ourselves what the public sector is trying to achieve by measuring its performance. I think there are a lot of assumptions made about that. I think that we sort of lost sight, really, in applying models from the private sector of what really is going to lead to better performance in the public sector. So we apply these models, we talk about performance measurement, but actually what are we really trying to achieve by doing so?
So performance measurement can be useful, but then useful for what? Can we not just live without?
I think those are unasked and undiscussed questions, actually. I think where the focus seems to be is on how to make performance measurement and management work, rather than perhaps, as you're suggesting, going back to first principles and seeing really what value it is adding. I think those are unasked questions that actually do now need to be explored.
So somehow, if you agree that there was some kind of an idea that performance measurement and management will be valuable and that will be useful to solve some problems, but in the end we've concentrated too much on the actual measurement and management of performance rather than what the result of that will be. Yeah?
What its value is.
Yeah.
I think that I personally think that is a valid question. Yeah.
Okay. So, and do you think that there are different uses of performance measurement, or should we just think that after all we want to control expenditure because this is very important now?
I think there are a lot of reasons actually why people measure performance, but I think there are also a lot of assumptions made, and that actually it might be useful to explore the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it for control? Is it to justify the expenditure in the public sector? There's probably a whole host of reasons that in turn should then drive what it is that is measured, depending on what the purpose is of the performance measurement.